The Sunday family dinner started like every other one for the past 3 years, with Mom gushing about Rachel's legal career while I pushed asparagus around my plate. Rachel just won her first case entirely on her own, Mom announced, her voice rising with pride as she passed the roast chicken. Tell everyone about it, sweetheart. My sister straightened in her chair, that familiar smugness settling over her features. It was just a misdemeanor case, but the judge praised my argument. My supervising attorney said I have real potential. That's my girl, Dad beamed. A real profesional. Making a difference in people's lives. I took a sip of water, saying nothing. I'd learned years ago that contributing to these conversations was pointless. And what about you, Maya? Aunt Linda asked, though her tone suggested she already knew the answer would disappoint. Still doing that internet thing? Social media content creation, I corrected quietly. Yes, still doing that. Rachel laughed, the sound sharp and dismissive. Mom, did you see Maya posted a video of herself making breakfast yesterday? 45 seconds of scrambling eggs. That's her job. The table erupted in polite laughter. Uncle Jim shook his head like he felt sorry for me. When are you going to get a real job? Mom asked, her voice dripping with concern that felt more like judgment. You're 28, Maya. Your sister passed the bar at 26. She has a career with benefits, retirement, respect. My work is real, I said, keeping my voice level. Posting pictures online isn't work, Dad cut in. It's what teenagers do for fun. Rachel spent 7 years in school. She took the bar exam. She works 60-hour weeks helping actual people with actual problems. I heard variations of this speech at every family gathering since I left my corporate marketing job 2 years ago. They had no idea I'd been building something. They saw my Instagram posts and TikTok videos and assumed I was unemployed, living off savings, wasting my life. They didn't know about the brand partnerships. The sponsored content. The media company that had offered me a contract 3 months ago. They saw internet posts and tuned out before I could explain that those posts reached millions of people, that companies paid extraordinary amounts to access my audience. At least Rachel contributes to society, Mom continued. She's defending people who can't afford lawyers. That's noble work. What do your videos do? Make people waste time on their phones? Rachel smiled, taking a slow sip of her wine. She was enjoying this. I actually help a lot of people, I said quietly. My content about mental health and, oh please, Rachel interrupted. You talk to a camera in your apartment. I cross-examine witnesses in actual courtrooms. There's no comparison. Your sister has a real salary, Maya, Dad added. Benefits. A 401k. What do you have? How do you even pay rent? I wanted to tell them. God, I wanted to tell them that I'd made more last month than Rachel would make all year. That the internet thing they mocked had generated $340,000 in revenue in the last 6 months alone. That 3 major brands were currently bidding for exclusive partnership rights. But I'd learned to stay quiet. They wouldn't believe me anyway. They'd find some way to diminish it, to make Rachel's achievements seem more legitimate, more real. I manage, I said simply. Barely, I'm sure, Aunt Linda muttered. The conversation shifted to Rachel's upcoming performance review, her potential promotion to senior public defender, the respect she commanded in the courthouse. I finished my dinner in silence, checking my phone under the table. My manager had sent 3 messages. The analytics from yesterday's post were exceptional. Engagement was up 42%. 2 new brand inquiries had come in. One was from a major athletic wear company, the kind of partnership that could change everything. Put the phone away, Maya, Mom snapped. We're having family time. Can't you go 5 minutes without checking your Instagram? Sorry, I murmured, pocketing it. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Dad said, gesturing at me with his fork. No respect for real conversation. No understanding of professional behavior. Rachel would never sit at a business dinner checking her phone. Rachel smirked. I'm too busy actually working to stare at my phone all day. After dinner, I helped clear the table while Rachel held court in the living room, showing everyone photos from a legal conference she'd attended. I could hear Mom's voice carrying from the other room. She networked with judges, with senior partners from major firms. That's how you build a real career. Not by posting videos of your breakfast. I loaded the dishwasher, each plate clattering a little harder than necessary. My phone buzzed. My manager again, Nike wants a call tomorrow. They're talking $950,000 for 18 months. This is the big one. Call me tonight. My hand shook as I read the message. Nearly $1 million. For 18 months of content partnership. It was more than Rachel would make in 15 years as a public defender. I stepped out onto Mom's back porch to call my manager back. Maya. This is incredible, she said before I could speak. They loved your athletic lifestyle content. They want you as the face of their new women's wellness campaign. This is career-defining. When do they need an answer? Calls tomorrow at 2. Can you do it? I know you're with family, but I'll make it work, I said. I'll be there. When I came back inside, Rachel was showing everyone her first paycheck stub from the public defender's office. $58,000 a year, she announced proudly. Plus full benefits. And that's just starting salary. Senior public defenders make $75,000. That's wonderful, sweetheart, Mom cooed. A real, stable income. That's what matters. She glanced at me meaningfully, and I knew what was coming. Maya, are you even making minimum wage with your little videos? I could have told them right then. Could have pulled up my bank statements, shown them the deposits, the contracts, the future I was building. But something stopped me. Maybe it was the years of dismissal. Maybe it was knowing they wouldn't celebrate with me. They'd find some way to make it less than Rachel's achievements. I do okay, I said. Rachel laughed. That means no. God, Maya, you're almost 30. When are you going to grow up? The call with Nike the next day went better than I'd imagined. They didn't just want content, they wanted me to be a brand ambassador. 18 months, $950,000, plus performance bonuses that could push it over $1 million. Product partnerships. Event appearances. The whole package. We've been tracking your numbers for 6 months, the marketing director said. Your engagement rates are exceptional. Your audience trusts you. That's what we're buying, that trust, that authenticity. I signed the letter of intent that afternoon. My manager called me immediately after. Maya, this changes everything. We need to announce this. Your followers should know. This is a major brand partnership, these don't happen every day. Can we wait a few weeks? I asked. Why? This is worth celebrating. I didn't know how to explain that I wanted to tell my family first. That I wanted one moment where they looked at me the way they looked at Rachel, with pride instead of pity. But 2 weeks later, I still hadn't told them. Every time I tried to bring it up, Rachel would launch into another story about her caseload or Mom would make another comment about real jobs, and I'd lose my nerve. Then Mom called with an invitation that felt more like a summons. We're having a celebration dinner for Rachel on Saturday, she said. She's being promoted. They're making her senior public defender after just 14 months. It usually takes 3 years. We're inviting the whole family, aunts, uncles, cousins. Everyone. That's great for Rachel, I said, my stomach already nodding. We're having it catered at the house. It's going to be a real celebration. Please try to dress nicely, Maya. And maybe, don't mention your internet thing? This is Rachel's night. I don't want her overshadowed by, well, you know. I knew. I always knew. Saturday arrived too quickly. I wore a simple black dress, did my makeup carefully, and drove to my parents' house with a knot of anxiety in my chest. The house was packed. Extended family filled every room. A catering company had set up a full buffet. There was even a cake with, "Congratulations Senior Public Defender Rachel," written in blue icing. Rachel stood in the center of the living room, radiant in a burgundy dress, surrounded by relatives praising her achievement. Youngest senior public defender in the county, Uncle Jim announced loudly. That's my niece. I hung back by the doorway, unnoticed. This was Rachel's moment. I could let her have it. But then Aunt Linda spotted me. Maya, come tell us what you've been up to. Still posting those videos? The room went quiet. Every eye turned to me. Yes, I said simply. Still creating content. That's nice, Mom said quickly, her tone suggesting it wasn't nice at all. But let's focus on Rachel tonight. She's accomplished something real, something we can all be proud of. Rachel's smile was poisonous. It's okay, Mom. We can spare a minute for Maya's little hobby. Tell us, Maya, how many likes did you get today? The room chuckled. Polite, pitying laughter. Actually, I started. Because I just found out my new salary, Rachel interrupted, her voice rising with triumph. $76,000 a year. Plus benefits. Plus a pension. That's what real work pays. The room erupted in applause. Dad raised his wine glass. To Rachel. A real professional with a real future. Everyone drank. Even me, because refusing would have made it worse. Maya, sweetie, Cousin Jennifer said, her voice dripping with false concern, do you need help finding a real job? My company is hiring in the mailroom. It's not glamorous, but it's steady work. I'm fine, I said quietly. Are you though? Mom asked. Because we worry, honey. You can't make a living posting pictures online. That's not sustainable. What's your plan for retirement? For health insurance? For building actual equity? I have a plan, I said. Rachel laughed. Does your plan involve moving back in with Mom and Dad when the Instagram money runs out? The room laughed again, louder this time. My phone buzzed in my purse. Probably my manager. We'd scheduled a call for later. She wanted to discuss the Nike campaign launch strategy. The public announcement was scheduled for Monday. Press releases were written. My social media team had prepared a whole rollout. And then, from the corner of the room, my laptop bag, I brought it because I thought I might need to step out and handle some campaign details, began to glow. I'd left my laptop on. And I'd forgotten that I'd connected it to my TV at home for a presentation earlier. But my parents had the same model TV. The same setup. Their massive living room TV screen suddenly flickered to life. My manager's face appeared, life-size, on the 75-inch screen behind me. She was on a video call, and she must have seen I was available because my laptop had automatically connected. MAYA, her voice boomed through the TV speakers. Perfect timing. I just got off the phone with Nike. They want to move up the announcement. The press release goes out tomorrow morning instead of Monday. Are you seeing the numbers? The screen changed. My analytics dashboard filled the TV. Live data. Real-time updates. Current followers, 2,847,392. Monthly reach, 47.3 million. Engagement rate, 8.7%, industry standard, 2.1%. The room went completely silent. And the Nike deal is confirmed, my manager continued, her voice echoing through the stunned silence. $950,000 for 18 months. Plus performance bonuses. Maya, you're looking at over $1 million. This is career-defining. The screen changed again. Contract terms appeared. Dollar amounts. Partnership details. My quarterly earnings report from the last 6 months, $340,000. Rachel's face had gone completely white. Oh, my manager's face reappeared on the screen. Are you with people? Should I call back? Every person in that room was staring at the TV. Then at me. Then back at the TV. I walked slowly to my laptop bag, pulled out my computer, and smiled at the screen. Hey, Jen. Yeah, I'm at a family thing. Can we talk in an hour? Sure. Congratulations again. This Nike deal is going to make you one of the top fitness influencers in the country. Talk soon. The screen went dark. I closed my laptop carefully, then turned to face the room. Mom's mouth was opening and closing like a fish. Dad had gone pale. Aunt Linda had actually dropped her wine glass. Red wine was spreading across the cream carpet. Rachel was shaking. Literally trembling. She started, her voice cracking. That can't be real. It's real, I said quietly. You're making? Uncle Jim couldn't finish the sentence. Nearly $1 million from Nike, I confirmed. Plus my existing partnerships. Plus ad revenue. Plus affiliate commissions. But you post videos of making breakfast, Mom whispered. I create lifestyle content for an audience of nearly 3 million people, I corrected gently. Those people trust my recommendations. Brands pay for access to that trust. Nike is paying $950,000 because they know my endorsement will reach 47 million people and drive actual sales. Rachel's hands were shaking so badly she had to set down her champagne glass. You're lying. This is some kind of fake screen or, I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, and held it up. The balance was visible to anyone close enough to look. $287,450 in my checking account alone. I make more in a month than you make in a year, I said, my voice still calm. I've been making that for 18 months. I didn't tell you because every time I tried, you talked over me. You dismissed it. You called it a hobby, a phase, a waste of time. Maya, Dad started, his voice weak. We didn't know. You didn't want to know, I interrupted. You wanted Rachel to be the success story. The lawyer with the respectable career. And she is successful. $76,000 is nothing to dismiss. But you used her success to make me feel worthless. You did it at every dinner, every holiday, every phone call. Cousin Jennifer had gone red. We were trying to help. You offered me a job in your mailroom, I said flatly. While I was in the middle of negotiating $1 million brand deal. Rachel's voice came out as a whisper. Mom said you were struggling. That you couldn't pay rent. That you were too embarrassed to ask for help. I looked at my mother. She'd gone completely white. I bought a condo last year, I said. Cash. 3 bedrooms in the city. I didn't tell you because I knew you'd find some way to make it less legitimate than Rachel's achievements, 3 million followers? Aunt Linda shrieked, apparently just processing the number. How did we not know this? Because you never asked, I said simply. You never once asked what I actually do, how it works, what I earn. You just assumed it was nothing and treated me like a failure. Rachel was crying now, mascara running down her cheeks. You let me brag about $76,000 when you're making. I let you have your moment, I said. Because your achievement is real. You should be proud. But your accomplishment doesn't require my failure to be meaningful, Rachel. Mom and Dad made you think it did. The room was completely silent except for Rachel's quiet sobbing. "That's not fair," Mom finally said, her voice shaking. "We've always been proud of both of you. Name one thing I've done in the last 2 years that you praised," I challenged. "One single thing." She opened her mouth, closed it. Tears started rolling down her face. "You made scrambled eggs," Rachel whispered. "That video of you making breakfast." I laughed at it. "That video probably made you $15,000, I confirmed. "That one video. Because a kitchenware brand sponsored it. The eggs were made with their pans, in their bowls, with their utensils. 45 seconds of content that paid $15,000. Uncle Jim made a choking sound. I picked up my laptop bag and purse. "I should go. This is Rachel's celebration, and I don't want to ruin it." "Maya, wait," Dad said, finally finding his voice. "We need to talk about this." "We didn't understand, Maya." "You didn't want to understand," I said. "And that's okay. But I'm done trying to make you see me. I have a Nike campaign to launch, a team to manage, and a career you never bothered to learn about. Congratulations on your promotion, Rachel. You earned it." I walked toward the door. Mom shouted, her voice breaking. "Don't leave like this. We're your family." I turned back. Every face in that room was staring at me, some shocked, some ashamed, some calculating. "You're right," I said quietly. "You're my family. And for 2 years, you made me feel worthless at every gathering. You laughed at my work, dismissed my achievements, and offered me mailroom jobs while I was building an empire. So yeah, I'm leaving. Not to punish you. But because I finally understand that I don't need your approval to know my worth." I left through the front door. Behind me, I could hear voices rising, Mom crying, Dad shouting, Rachel hyperventilating. My phone started ringing before I reached my car. Mom. Then Dad. Then Rachel. I let them all go to voicemail. By the time I got home, I had 47 missed calls and 23 text messages. Rachel's were the most desperate. "Please call me. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Please." Mom's were panicked. "We need to talk about this. You can't just leave. Call me immediately." Dad's tried authority. "This is ridiculous. Come back so we can discuss this like adults." I turned my phone off and went to bed. 3 weeks later, I sat in a Nike studio in downtown LA, shooting my first campaign video. Professional crew, massive budget, creative control. Everything I'd worked for. My phone was back on, but I'd blocked most of my family. The messages had been relentless, guilt trips, demands, half apologies that blamed me for overreacting. Only Rachel had sent something different. A single text, 2 weeks after the dinner, "I'm proud of you. I should have said that years ago. I'm sorry I didn't. You don't have to forgive me. But I needed you to know." I didn't respond. Maybe someday I would. But right now, I was busy building something real. The Nike campaign launched on a Tuesday. Within 6 hours, it had been viewed 12 million times. My follower count jumped by 300,000 in a single day. The engagement was extraordinary. My manager called, screaming with excitement. "Maya. 3 more brands just reached out. Major names. This is exactly what we needed. You're officially top tier now." That night, Mom called from a number I hadn't blocked, probably Aunt Linda's phone. "Maya, please. We just want to talk. To apologize properly. Your sister is devastated. Your father and I haven't slept in weeks. Please." I almost answered. Almost. But then I remembered Sunday dinners. The dismissal. The laughter. Rachel's smug smile. Mom's real job speeches. "I'm sorry," I said to the voicemail. "But I'm done being your disappointment. I hope Rachel enjoys her promotion. I hope you're all well. But I need space." I hung up and blocked that number too. 4 months later, my second Nike campaign launched. My follower count hit 3.2 million. I signed a book deal. A production company wanted to develop a show based on my content. I ran into Rachel at a coffee shop downtown. She looked tired but composed. "Maya," she said quietly. "Can we talk? Just 5 minutes?" I could have said no. Should have, probably. But something in her face stopped me. 5 minutes, I agreed. We sat outside. She didn't make excuses. Didn't try to justify anything. "I was jealous," she said simply. "For years. You were always the creative one, the interesting one. I worked so hard to be the successful one, the one Mom and Dad were proud of. And I built my identity on being better than you. I'm sorry. I was cruel. You didn't deserve that." It was the most honest thing she'd ever said to me. "Thank you," I said carefully. "I'm not asking for forgiveness," she continued. "I just needed you to hear that. What I did, was terrible. You built something incredible, and we tried to tear it down because it didn't look like success we understood." She stood to leave, then paused. For what it's worth, I watched your Nike campaign. All of it. It's brilliant. You're brilliant. I should have seen that sooner. She walked away before I could respond. I sat there for a long time, coffee growing cold, thinking about family and success and what we're taught to value. Maybe someday I'd rebuild those bridges. Maybe I'd go to Sunday dinner again. Maybe I'd answer mom's calls. But not today. Today, I had content to create, a business to run, and a life I'd built on my own terms. And that was enough. Have you ever had family dismiss your success because it didn't fit their definition of achievement? How did you handle it? Share your story in the comments below.